So we will go right into this article. It's called The Brain, so scientific one, a little bit scientific info today. The brain doesn't actually reorganize itself after a limb up amputation or amputation.
Amputation is better.
Amputation, yes.
Yes.
I actually has a friend of mine who has gone through this stuff. She had cancer and she had her, I think, left hand amputated or amputated.
Oh,
Yeah, she actually moved to the US to Washington State, Spokane City.
Spokane.
Spokane.
Spokane is how my daughter, pronounced the name of the Eastern Washington State city, and it was something of a joke. Uh, I think she actually took a flight to Eastern Washington, uh, which was a mistake and required
Okay.
another flight to get to the Seattle area.
Yeah.
Spokane, Spokane, and I don't. Yeah,
Spokane.
it's the spelling and the pronunciation are misleading.
That's okay. That's okay. So I think it would be interesting to look at. This is page 8
Hmm.
from the magazine called New Scientist, a new human species. So let's go to basically page 8 and read this article, which is titled "The Brain Doesn't Actually Reorganize Itself After a Limb Amputation." Yes. So let's go ahead. Like we do, I will underline the words that I don't know, and we can, you could give me, let's say, synonyms for these words, or we could just come back and talk about these words. So, Luke Taylor, the human brain may not be as capable of rewriting following an amputation as we thought. A part of the brain called the somat somatens
Somatosensory,
somatens
or actually somatosensory. Um,
somatosensory.
yeah,
Oh, somatosensory cortex. I have no idea what it is.
a somatosensory cortex is kind of like that, like name of the moon territory. Um, Medical science has, bizarrely specific
Yeah.
names for
Yes. Like moon
like
territory. Gotcha.
everywhere, and
Gotcha.
memorizing those names is part of the way they torture
That's fine.
medical
That's fine. I
school.
can I can cortex quickly check the Russian version. Oh, okay. So kora головного mozga, right? So it's basically in the brain. It's in the brain.
Yes, yes, yes.
Yeah. Okay. A part of the brain called the somatosensory cortex receives and processes sensory information from across the body, such as touch and temperature. Some studies suggest the areas of the cortex are mapped to different parts of the body, so a different bit will light up if you burn your hand or your toe, for instance. And then it says, this idea that the brain is capable of reorganizing that the cortex can do a switcheroo.
That's a cutie pie word, switcheroo. It's
Switcheroo.
just the basic word switch, and then just for the sake of cuteness, like they add a roo, so it's switcheroo. Now
Okay.
it's like a um, overly familiar informal thing, and it's kind of weird that would be in a joke.
Mm,
So
okay. So this idea that the brain is capable of reorganizing that the cortex can do a switcheroo is incorrect. All right. All right, so it has also been suggested that the somatosensory cortex reorganizes itself in the case of an amputation or severed nerve.
yes, cut. Something that is severed is cut,
Ah,
like cutting a wire.
yes. Oh, okay. So they're suggesting that when you lose a limb, it actually you lose a part of like nervous system.
Okay, it has also been suggested that somatosensory cortex reorganizes itself in the case of an amputation or severed nerve. Um, this is saying
No, yeah, this
the
is saying
opposite of like this is stating a falsehood because the suggestion that the brain reorganizes itself in the case of a limb amputation is not true. You know,
yes.
um,
But Tamar Macking,
Mac, yeah, Mackin is that's a person's last name.
Tamar Mocking at the
Yeah,
University of Cambridge and her colleagues have compared the brain activity of people before and after an amputation and found it doesn't actually change.
yes.
Okay.
So, so this paragraph refutes and calls out as false the previous paragraph, which says, like it suggested that the cortex does reorganize itself.
Okay. Okay. The researchers used MRI to scan the brains of three people before their arms were amputated for medical reasons. During the scans, they were asked to purse their lips and tap their fingers. A purse lips is like make like this. Hmm?
Yeah. Yes. Something like a kissing motion.
Ah, okay. Oh, okay. We call it in Russian like make a butterfly.
Ah, yes.
Okay.
Yes.
All right.
Yes.
So sort of like a kissing a mode. Okay. Purse their lips and tap their fingers like this. Trrr.
Absolutely.
Okay. When the team repeated this 3 and 6 months post amputation and asked the participants to try moving their fingers they no longer had, their brain signals remained the same. Okay, that's interesting. Meaning that even if you don't have a hand, your brain still sends those signals, right?
And it works the other way too. People can experience pain in a limb that they no longer have.
Really? Okay, let's keep reading. That's
Yes.
interesting.
Yes.
Two of the participants were also followed up at 18 months and 5 years, respectively, post amputation with neither or neither. Should I say neither?
Uh, that's a matter of taste. I would say neither. Um, but in some places, like it has an alternate pronunciation.
I hear
But
a lot of people say neither, but I'm kind of used to neither. I'm not sure if that's correct.
yes,
So I can
I
say
would
so. Okay.
stick with neither.
Okay, with neither showing any significant change, once again, two of the participants were also followed up at 18 months and 5 years, respectively, post amputation, with neither showing any significant change to their brain signals from before. Okay, so meaning that they did some tests on people, and even after 5 years, like there was no change in brain signals.
That is correct. There's
Okay.
correct. Uh, not with neither showing any significant change is the same thing as not showing
Yes.
any significant change.
Hmm.
So there was no change. The
That's
brain was
interesting.
functioning as if it had, like the limbs that had been removed.
Yeah, that's interesting. The researchers validated their findings by first training an AI model to recognize, right, to recognize which pre-amputation brain scans were linked to the participants moving each finger. So, sorry, the researchers validated their fingers. What is validated their fingers?
Uh, to validate something is to look at it to see that it is true. Um,
Kind of like confirm?
yeah, well, Yes, yes. Um,
Validate.
To make something officially acceptable or approved. Okay, so
yeah.
approved, maybe it's a good word.
Well, when people have an idea, and like they have um, some stress from thinking, "Oh, this may not be true." If you do the work to find out whether it is true or not, and then you find out that it is true, that is a validation process.
Like almost confirmation.
Yeah, yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
So the researchers kind of confirmed or approved their findings by first training an AI model to recognize which pre-amputation brain scans were linked to the participants moving each finger. Okay, when they returned post-amputation and imaged or
Uh,
imagined
imagined. Okay, when they
imagined
return
wiggling each finger, wiggling. I think I kind of get it.
to
Wiggle.
wiggle is to do something like
Wiggle.
this. To
Ah,
like
okay.
to move the finger. But like you could I suppose you could wiggle an arm, but it's more suited for I think a small thing.
Yeah.
Like you could wiggle a pen at a teacher to catch their attention. Hmm.
Okay. So when they returned post-amputation and imagined wiggling each finger in a random order, the model could identify from brain activity which finger they were trying to move. Hmm. All right. So yeah, basically this is what they're working on. Okay. Study participants were asked to imagine moving fingers they no longer had. In another part of the experiment, the team measured the participants' somatosensory cortex activity as they moved their lips and tried to move their fingers post-amputation. This was also done for 26 people whose arms were amputated an average of 23 years ago, and the researchers found the activity was comparable. So basically, they're trying to say that even after 30 or 23 years of after amputation, the brain still works the same way?
The brain is like the brain is responding um, in the same way as if the limbs were still there.
Hmm.
They can imagine moving body parts that are no longer there, and they can receive stimuli from body parts that are
Hmm.
not there. And I
That's
guess that has to do with the infrastructure of the nerve connection from the brain, say out to the end of a stub of an arm to a hand that is no longer there.
that's
Um,
interesting. That's interesting. All right, so this study confirms in a definite way that this idea that the brain is capable of remapping, rewriting, or reorganizing, that the cortex can simply do a switcheroo is incorrect. Hmm.
Now,
Says,
that's act. Yeah, just a small interruption.
mhm,
Now, this article is like working on one idea, but the brain can do a switcheroo when there's damage to a nerve out to a body part like a hand. When the nerve that has been used since birth is damaged, like the body can, uh, restore communication with that limb by an alternate nerve path. And you could describe that as a switcheroo. But that's not the idea that they're trying to tease out in this article. You know, a
mhm.
switcheroo is not capable in terms of like the brain shutting down communication with a limb. Like even when a limb is removed, the brain will try to communicate with
That's interesting. That's
that limb,
interesting.
and that's
Yeah.
actually that process is actually an example of the brain trying to rewire communication to a limb that is still there. See,
Hmm.
this thing is about amputation, but the other story is about when there's nerve damage, and the body and the brain are capable of restoring communication to a limb that still exists.
Hmm. Hmm.
So you could get the wrong idea from this article. Oh, okay, there's no switcheroos, but
Hmm.
that's not true in every like case.
Okay. So, says John Krakauer at John Hopkins University in Maryland. I've been to Maryland, by the way. The
Yeah,
researchers argue the findings could change the treatment of phantom limb pain, a common condition among people who have undergone an amputation where they still perceive pain or discomfort in an arm or leg that is no longer there. Yeah. So, this is an interesting article. Uh, yeah, honestly speaking, there were not a lot of words I didn't know. Well, except for somatosensory cortex, which
somatosensory. Um,
somatosensory cortex.
a little helpful advice, sir. Um, you know, in 1977, I thought I was going to be a doctor.
Oh,
I was
really?
I was deluded, so I was actually buying the medical dictionaries. When you have a word like somatosensory,
Yes.
try to divide it
I was
into
going to do it.
the
Yes.
syllables.
Somatosensory. Yes. Somatosensory. No, you like, for
Yeah,
instance, I know the word sensory, right? So I should have kind of divide somata and then sensory. It would be easier for me to
yeah,
read. Exactly. You're right. You're absolutely right.
yeah.
Great
Because
recommendation, Steve. Great
there's
recommendation.
tons there's tons of just there's tons of words in medicine that are actually um, valid words by themselves, like um, methyl hydroxide antecedent. Um, like you'll see that in a single word that's like 24 letters long, and you might be tempted to throw your hands up. What do you mean you want me to understand a 24 letter word? Curse, 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 curse. Um, but like if you recognize the methyl, and you're like, oh yeah, I know how to pronounce methyl. You know,
Hmm.
I know how to pronounce hydroxide. You know,
Yeah.
and then it makes it easy. It's a trick that I learned. Although I didn't last like more than 1 year in my pre-med school experience.
That's cool. Steve, last question. Can you tell me how to read this neuroscience or neuroscience?
I would pick out the word neuro
Neuro.
from like a neurotoxin is something that is um, harmful to the nerves. So neuroscience is going to be a science relative to the nerves um, that function in a body, whether it's
Mhm.
human or animal.
Yeah.
There's probably an element of veterinary science that has to do with like the study of the the nerve function in animals that are injured. Yeah.
Yeah, well, thanks a lot. Thanks a lot. We did a good job with this article, and I'll see you again. Thank you, Steve.
Wait. Do you want to try for Monday?